I'm Gail Hermuses from Eaton's Canada, and I'm speaking here with
Meredith Cowan of Merediths Ginger Syrup and Elixirs. And that's a blend, it's a fusion of fresh whole ginger, fresh lime juice, and local honey. And I'm one of the beekeepers who raises the honey for this. Medicinal benefits of honey are off the radar, so to speak. This really is artisanal. This really is small batch. This is,
How many do you make at a time?
If we're making a batch of Elixir, the most we can make is around 80 liters at a time. So, so that really, my opinion, is a small batch. I'm still dealing with technology and how you can process. The hardest component of processing, of making it, is dealing with ginger. Ginger, what makes the medicinal properties of ginger that actually help us are because it's such a tough little food. And to work with that tough little food takes the right kind of equipment. And I don't know, you can't see my hands right now, but I've definitely,
I actually can.
Okay. These are hard-working hands, and ginger, working with it's got a tough skin, it's got lots of fibers, and extracting its beauty in a way that keeps the integrity of the plant intact is my mission.
How did you develop the recipe?
That's a good question. There's a few things that happened at once. I had, like many people here, was sourcing out great food, and I bought a farm because I was spending my life running around, meeting with producers, finding out how the meat was raised, how the milk was raised, and I just said to my husband at the time, we need to get a farm. I want to raise my own food. And I tried it all. I raised cattle, I raised chickens, I raised everything. And the one relationship I enjoyed most with the livestock was with the bees. I found that I could develop a symbiotic relationship with them where I didn't feel guilty, to be honest with you, about taking what they were producing. I could give, and they could give back to me. And I could, I liked the experience. It's hard raising animals, and I won't say it's easy. You get completely connected to them, and it can, from an emotional and philosophical standpoint, can change you. Yeah. And I found the beekeeping was the one that I gravitated to the most. Right. And I had also come down with a few medical issues in my late 20s, and I wasn't thoroughly impressed with what my conventional doctor had told me were options on ways to fix it. Birth control pill and support hose wasn't an answer for me. Right. So I started seeking alternative information about one's health, and it led me on a path of what we now call a naturopath. That doctor helped fix all the issues, so I didn't need to use support hose, and I regulated hormones in my body, so that having to take the birth control pill for me to just regulate me wasn't necessary. And I became a huge believer in that. So I wanted to take that message, because I was using ginger now, and people would see it in my house and they were fascinated, like, what are you doing with all that ginger? I'd be like, making ginger tea. So on the farm, it was one pot. I have a wood-burning stove, and it was a one pot where I started to brew down the ginger root and blend it with my honey. And it was quite delicious. And I took it to my friends, and they all gulped it up and loved it. We started to blend it with warm milk. We had these ginger lattes, and they were outrageous. And I then I was taking it to a local 100-mile market, and then the owner of that market, a great woman named Barbara Kay, said, "We're having a Dragon's Den. Bring your product to the Dragon's Den." I have no idea where I found the courage to do that, because I did promote it. It was affiliated with CBC. It was a way to stimulate small business in a rural community. And I went down there and pitched my idea in front of 200 people, my colleagues, my friends. It was the hardest thing. I had the wickedest case of stage fright. But people could feel my passion about ginger. And I made sure that everybody in that audience tasted it. And after that, the business was born. And I started to become the ambassador of ginger. And I take that job wholeheartedly.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, congratulations.